great song, so I was, I was doing a full song, but I didn't want to mess it up. Things were going well, so I didn't want to mess it up. I was just a little insecure. But now when I look back, I wish I had. This is a fantastic song, and everywhere I go, people say, "Hey man, how come you didn't do the music?"
Well, also, Will, don't forget that we finished Men in Black 3 and you went right into working with.
Just asking, so.
Thanks. I went right into working with M. Night, so you.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I was working. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. But I was scared. I got to be honest.
Really?
I was a little nervous. I didn't know if people really wanted to see that. And I wasn't sure if it would look like I was guilting the lily, as they say.
I've never seen you scared in my life.
Oh, did I say I wasn't scared?
Okay.
This is chocolate milk. I just got it. I just got it. It's chocolate milk. Oh, that's fantastic. Someone is being very creative.
I still don't get it. Oh, no, I got
Все,
it.
кто увидел картину, уловили эту шутку. Хорошо. Игорь, прошу следующий вопрос.
Надежда Маркалова, film.ru. I have a question for all three of you. What was the most challenging scene to shoot, maybe physically, maybe dramatically?
I got an answer.
You have an answer? You want to go first?
Let me go first.
Okay.
For me, the scariest scene, and Josh talks about how I cried at the end of it, but for me, the scariest scene was the very first scene in Men in Black Headquarters 1969, where Will Smith and Josh Brolin are in the scene for the very first time. We were so worried that we'd made a terrible mistake.
By hiring me.
By going back in time, not having Tommy Lee Jones in the whole movie because Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones have this chemistry. And then we worked to be the first day with Will and Josh. It was so perfect. Josh was so fantastic. Will was incredibly hilarious. That as soon as I said cut, I burst into tears. Josh thought it was because of my pressure making the movie, but it was really out of joy and happiness that I knew at that moment this relationship would be perfect.
Yeah, that's what it was. Also, when you have a director cry and the scene is not necessarily emotional, you're not sure if you're going to be fired.
Yeah. That can throw you off.
It could throw you off a little bit. But I think, I agree. It was
Barry cries a lot.
Yeah, that's right.
Barry, if he doesn't have lunch, he'll cry. So there was a little confusing, but it turned out to be beautiful.
It's true. Barry cries and you crack up.
I laugh. No, it's funny when he cries. That's our relationship.
And I'm happy.
So a hard scene. I don't know. What was hard? I was 32 years old when I did part 2, and I was 42 years old when I did part 3. So I was surprised how much difference 10 years makes when you're trying to be an action hero. Jumping out of windows and things like that. And, I started the movie off saying, I want a stuntman. What I need a stuntman for? I'll do it. By the time we got 2 or 3 weeks into the movie, I started saying, hey, can somebody need the stuntman from the trailer? Just have him come out here and just be on set. So,
Well, another scary moment was for me and you, I think, was the first day you worked after 3 years having never acted.
yeah, no, I hadn't acted in about 4 years. Why was it scary for you?
Well, because the very first shot with Will Smith after all these years,
Yes.
He's jumping off the top of the Chrysler building, we're shooting blue screen.
Yes.
And as I'm watching him act to no one but himself,
Yes.
I'm thinking, he's not really that good anymore. But I didn't want to say anything, but I was wondering how Will would feel about it. And as I'm panicking, I finally say, cut, because I see it's not getting any better. And Will Smith, as soon as they said cut, screams out to me, I can do better, Baz, I'm a little rusty.
I'm a little rusty, but then I got it together.
You did, and you were fantastic in the movie.
And because I saw you crying after my first take too, but it's for a different reason.
Хорошо, спасибо большое за столь просторные, пространные вопросы и ответы. Мы едем дальше. Вот эта сторона, прошу быстрее.
Hello, my name is Anastasia, and I have a question about Boris the animal. Is this image, or was this image inspired by a real person? Because yesterday I realized that he looks like Boris Grebeshnikov, our famous Russian musician. I have a picture if you want to have a look at it.
Yes, please.
Boris the animal looks like a famous Russian musician.
Musician, his name is also Boris.
Boris, wow.
Okay, I can answer this one.
Wow.
What can you say about
Okay.
that?
Sorry for him.
The original name in the script, when we started this movie, the original name of the villain was Yaz, Y-A-Z. And then one day my 19-year-old daughter told me that Yaz was also the name of her birth control pill.
Yes.
That was shocking for so many reasons. So we had to change. So we had to change his name, and several people have already asked me if Boris is a Russian name, but as it turns out, Boris is also the name of my grandson.
Oh, wow.
So we named the villain of the movie after my grandson. Thank you very much.
There is no good answer to this question.
Yeah.
You understand that, right?
That's fantastic, though. He should sue us.
На самом деле, вчера, кто смотрел фильм, еще говорил, что не только Борис Гребенщиков, но и Никита Джигурда. Это шутка для местных. Да, хорошо, эта сторона.
Добрый день, Зоя собеседник. Уилл, скажите, пожалуйста, вот вы падали с крыши, скажите, пожалуйста, может, у вас есть еще и другие фобии, вообще боитесь ли вы высоты? И еще такой вопрос, вы там восстанавливали справедливость с посадкой на Луну. Скажите, а что-нибудь вы о русском космосе знаете?
Oh, wow. Yeah, the first thing, first was phobias. I had phobias. I'm kind of scared of being scared, right? Like whenever I'm scared of something, it makes me have to attack it, right? So I have a weird response to being scared. It's like, I can't swim, for example. So, whenever I'm in the water, I just have this crazy urge that I have to jump off the boat into the water, so it's a weird thing like that. And Russian space exploration, we did, for the film, we had a lot of researchers on set, so it was the Sputnik. Yeah, it was that was the big one. Someone brought we had keychains or something that someone gave us, the Sputnik keychains or something like that. But yeah, it wasn't a big study of mine, but I know Sputnik.
Some things happened in 1969 with the Russians, I think. I think it was Venus and Mars, right? They circumvented Venus, and I think they landed on Mars or something like that. I actually studied it.
No, it sounds like it.
I tell you the truth about Boris, though, is Jermaine with this. Who wrote one top of the rocket. And Jermaine, who is afraid of heights, would do this thing where you get into character, and then he'd jump up next to me, and then he'd go like this and go. It was really quite sad, but we cut around it.
Что ж, монтаж это святое дело, конечно. Прошу, видимо, давайте.
That's on your iPhone texting while we're answering, by the way.
Oh, he's like, hey baby, I'll see you in an hour.
Компания РБК, Руслан Мамедов. Скажите, пожалуйста, Уилл, вот если бы у вас было бы, такую предположить фантастику, у вас есть устройство из этого фильма, которое стирает память и заставляет человека поверить в то, что вы сказали. На ком бы вы это применили? Есть ли у вас какие-то конкретные персонажи, кому бы вы устроили прочистку мозгов? И второй вопрос. относящийся к другому вашему фильму про Али. Вот вы потрясающе сыграли там, но если бы вам по-настоящему нужно было выйти на ринг, смогли бы вы выйти, ну, например, против Николая Валуева? Он, между прочим, изъявлял желание с вами встретиться.
Yeah, see, you have to be very, very careful with Russian fighters because they're very well trained and very scary. See, in America, when I was growing up, you know, the image of the Russian fighter was Drago. You know, in Rocky III, you know, and you know he killed Apollo. You know, so the black guys with the Russian fighters don't have the best of luck, you know. So, what was the first part of the question? Yeah, but I'd love to meet him. Yeah, and could I fight for real? Was a good question.
Yeah.
How would I apply the device? Yes, the memory. Yeah. You know that would be interesting. I'd probably use it, you know, with my wife, and I would just flash and I say, "Babe, I'm the best. It was the best. You'll never experience anything like that ever again."
Or this is our last stop, by the way.
Едем дальше. Модный парень, давай, давно больше.
Вот вопрос, Уилл, по какой системе актерского мастерства ты играешь? Либо это Станиславский, Чехов?
С какой целью вы интересуетесь?
Yeah.
Сейчас.
No, that's a good question. That's a good question.
Окей. Да, хорошо.
I've read all of those books, and I've always found it a little bit too technical for me. I'm far more free form in my style. I'm not, you know, a technically trained actor, but you know, I love Stanislavski. I've worked with multiple acting coaches growing up, but for me, it's always come back to just programming myself with the ideas and just finding the natural space. And it's far more, I like to get into a space that is more free-form, you know, stream of consciousness. Like there's a wild sort of untamed way I like to perform on set. But yes, I've read all of those books.
It is a good question. I don't like it. They laugh.
Yeah. No, it's the shorts, man. It's the shorts. That's what it is. The shorts.
Джош, ну а тогда уж если есть возможность, я думаю, она есть, ответьте также на этот вопрос. А у вас что за система, по которой вы играете?
I think that's why I decided to do a movie with Will. I didn't decide. They asked me. I said yes because it was time to have some real fun. You know, I did study Stanislavski. I studied with Stella Adler in New York, and I did all that stuff. And I'm tired of taking myself so seriously, and I'm ready to have some fun. But I love Chekhov and all that. Michael Chekhov, I read. I did all that, and I think, you know, I still go back and read it because I think as an actor, you know, you do a new movie and you think you're going to be found out eventually. So, you know, every movie that comes up, it's almost like you've never done a movie before, so it has its new challenges.
I think you're both being way too hard on yourselves and not giving a truthful answer. You guys both worked profoundly hard on this. I mean, Josh was on the set every day with an MP3 player listening to Tommy and his cadences and his rhythm, yet created a new character based on Tommy. And Will, in every day, in every scene, comes into the scene wanting to know certain answers. What does this character need from the scene? What's he trying to learn from the scene? What does he want to get out of the scene? And they're throwing this question off, but they actually had a process whereby they actually were working as professional actors on the set.
Здравствуйте, Марина Питерская, Санкт-Петербург, журнал «Линия полета». У меня вопрос к Джошу. Вы только что упомянули про театральную школу Стеллы Адлер и про то, что вы любите Чехова. У меня вот такой вопрос. Я знаю, что вы раньше играли на театральной сцене. Играете ли вы сейчас? Если да, то в каких пьесах вас можно увидеть? И хотели бы вы воплотить на сцене кого-нибудь из чеховских персонажей? Спасибо.
Yeah, I have done that in Chekhov, and I'll be doing the opera next. I'll be singing teary though. No, I was going to do a play in January on Broadway, a Sam Shepard play. He's probably my favorite American playwright. But yeah, I've done a lot of theater, and the thing is I'm working a lot in film, and I have this great opportunity right now to do some great stuff. I'm not one who believes that if you do theater, that's the real acting, and film is not the real acting. So I'm very, very fortunate to do some fun and then also very difficult parts. We're going to do Chandler Park's a remake of Old Boy, which I'm really looking forward to, which scares me as anything. It scares me as much as Chekhov makes me scare me.
And I also had another thought that interesting with that question. From all of the reading, I like to simplify things. I like to break it down to its most simple components, and I'm a student of patterns. I'm always looking for what is the pattern, what is the most simple idea, and I've sort of broken my acting down to 4 basic questions, and I've generally found the character through these 4 basic questions. What does your character want? Why does your character want it? What's going to happen if your character doesn't get it? And what are the obstacles keeping them from getting it? And with those 4 questions, I've always been able to, come to a deep psychological comprehension of any character and any person. You ask a person those 4 questions over dinner, and if you can get really honest answers, you have a very good psychological profile from those 4 questions.
Я надеюсь, вы все законспектировали эти 4 вопроса.
Добрый день. Я на самом деле жена дорогое удовольствие. У меня 2 вопроса к Уиллу. Уилл, вы очень позитивный человек, и вам приписывают слова. Надо каждое утро просыпаться с мыслью, что произойдет что-то хорошее. Именно так и будет. Вы верите в позитивное мышление? И как этот принцип работает в вашей жизни? Может быть, какой-то случай расскажете из своей жизни? И второй вопрос. Насколько я поняла, в рамках промо-тура фильма «Люди, черном» 3 вас сопровождала супруга. И, как я поняла, в Россию она не приехала. Почему? Спасибо большое.
Oh, Jada and Willow, Jada has Madagascar 3 coming out in a few weeks. So she's in Cannes right now, the Cannes Film Festival. So she's doing this today with, she and my daughter are there. So she wanted to come to Moscow, but she's working. The first part of the question, just the concept of positive thinking, and, for me, my life is great. Like, I don't have anything really to be upset about in general, but I wake up every day and I just think that those first moments of the day are hugely important. And I'm constantly telling myself, for example, with boxing, if I had to fight, I'm only allowing myself to think about winning. Like, losing can't be even a possibility. It has to be such a bizarre concept that I would lose, that my mind and my body just assumes the win. And it's thinking from the point of view of the victor versus the victim. And I just work really hard to always train my thoughts to the most positive thought rather than oh my God, what if this press conference doesn't work? Oh my God, what if they don't like the movie? Oh my God, what if they think, and it's like, that's not helpful. It's like when I'm standing in the back, I'm saying to myself, I cannot wait to get out of here. It's going to be the best press conference ever. They're going to love this movie so much, thoughts trained in a positive space.
Luckily for the film, I come in with exactly the opposite.
The opposite, yes.
So it's a very balanced
Balance, yes.
И мне кажется, что мы уже должны с вами поставить большую жирную точку. Насколько известно, Москва является последним городом вашим глобальным в планетарном масштабе промо-тура «Люди, черном» 3. И, скажем так, оглядываясь назад в прошлое, какой бы вопрос вы сейчас вспомнили, скажем так, с точки зрения какой-то неловкости или, может быть, запоминающейся, и сейчас попытались бы его озвучить и тем самым нас до сих пор радует. За все время, не здесь, не только на этой пресс-конференции, а за время всего тура. Если, конечно, память.
I know. No, there was the most embarrassing moment of the entire tour was the other day when Josh Brolin, we were in a photo call, and you know Josh is generally pretty calm, right? But the photo call was going well, and Josh got excited, and he says, Will, let's do this pose. And I'm standing by the start. And what was the pose, Josh? There's a pose that you wanted to do. So it's the worst pose. It's the worst pose. We're standing there, it's really calm. And Josh said, let's do this pose.
You see, he won't do it right now. He's so right.
So he does like this, and he says, Will, come on. And I'm like, oh my goodness. I'm like,
My friend completely committed.
I committed. I was there with
It's
you.
the stupidest pose ever done.
You know, but I supported him as a
Support me.
Yeah, and that was the worst moment.
My
of the tour.
publicist over there showed me on the internet, and I was like, oh my God, what did I do? I get back into acting and improvising.
Improvising,
I
yeah.
didn't read that Stanislavski book, obviously.
No, but it was like he had an old school rap music flashback or something. It was like 80s.
I was in the Goonies again.
A Run DMC flashback.
Ну что ж, спасибо вам огромное за эти потрясающие 30 минут.
Спасибо, Will, Josh Brolin. Организованный был.